topic. I'm excited about this because I feel like a lot of us don't know all that much about it. Everyone here, even we can do a quick show of hands. How many of you in the audience right now have right beside you or in your hand like a charging cable, battery block for the day, like so you get your phone to last through today? Yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing not to have that, Andre?
Well, that would be actually not to have that much battery in the phone, not to need that, right?
Right.
Imagine never needing to charge your battery again.
I can't actually imagine that yet. It feels exciting. But am I going to wait a really, really long time for that reality? Or how close are we?
Well, it depends on the market reaction. The technology is here already. So
it's here.
It's here.
It exists. It works.
It exists. It works, and it works via radio frequency. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. We're going to get into all of it. So, of course, we had like movements a long time that allowed these kind of next waves to happen, right? Like your company before with Quinto Andar, you needed the smartphone to exist to, have this company.
Yeah.
Uber needs the smartphone to exist, or we can't use Uber. So the next phase, kind of with what we're looking at here, with this AI wave, are we already using it, to that potential? Like we're kind of going away from our main topic here, just for a second, to set the stage a little bit.
Yeah. So I think the AI wave is still in its awkward teenager phase. You remember, just using your example from the mobile phone, for example, right? Remember the early days of mobile internet? We had emails on the BlackBerry.
Yeah.
And that was cool. Everybody was, wow, we can send emails or read emails anywhere we are. Well, that was good, but it was not the revolution we saw later down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So
there was so much more to it.
There was so much more to happen. And I think AI is still in the phase where, well, it's good, but we still have to prompt it, right? So it's weird.
Yeah. So now are we struggling with prompting? Is prompting, you're thinking prompting's not going to be the main tool eventually, or what's the benefit of it?
I think prompting is good, but not great, because it limits the use case. I think prompting limits the use case to conversation with a machine, but not in having the machine aid in everything we do. Let's once again get back to the BlackBerry. And BlackBerry was texting, right? Mostly texting. And then we moved to a device with a screen, and that device with a screen, we could do anything. We could click on an app and summon a driver, rent an apartment, and ask for food. And, well, that's much better. That's much more ample than just texting. Yeah,
there was like a first phase, and then but we didn't know what to expect that's better. So you're saying kind of AI is the same. We're prompting it right now, which seems exciting. We talk to a computer, and it works and does something for us. Yep. But there's a phase you're thinking where we don't even have to do that. And I think, did you use Waymo or something as an example when we were talking, like a driverless car?
Yeah.
How should we be thinking about that?
So I think there are a few uses of AI already starting to show up, and I think they're much more interesting than just texting or prompting, right? But we're still far from it. Let's get to the ambient computing in general. So computers around us, and we don't even have to think about them, like the wearables and everything.
Yeah.
So that is still in its very beginning. I bought those Meta glasses. They're still disappointing, but I think they point towards a good direction there.
Yeah.
And I think it's good.
Yeah, I got to use some of those Meta glasses on stage one time. It was cool to take a picture of the audience from my perspective, but that was like the extent of my excitement at the time.
Exactly. That's basically the one thing you can do. And just like, I think it presents a new interface. A little bit like the Apple Newton did present that interface, but later came the iPhone. So the Apple Newton failed, but later came the iPhone, could do much more with the same interface and same, let's say, same vision of the world without a keyboard.
So what's that like iPhone moment now? Like to what the iPhone was to the Newton, what's that next thing for us now?
I think ambient computing in general, so the small devices we don't have to think about and are around us, and they need to be powerful enough to do what we need them to do. So hearing aids, earplugs, glasses, everything, or even in our homes, smart homes, etc., all this connected. And for all this to be connected all the time, 100% of the time online, always online, we need always on energy, right?
Always on energy.
Yeah, and we need that. And we can't do that if we have to charge them every 2 or 4 days.
Right.
So we need wireless energy as one important pillar of this new infrastructure for AI to climb this stair.
I like some of those examples that you gave, because I think a lot of us can picture, like, my father uses a hearing aid, and when he takes it out, it's like he's not at the dinner table anymore, but he's got to charge it. So those little devices are probably some of the ones that would come first, right? Because they're less.
They consume
Smaller
very little
batteries.
energy, exactly, and the technology that we have is already capable of feeding these devices without even transmitting electricity. What we do in general, let me open this parenthesis, is we send electricity using radio frequency waves, right? And so we have a transmitter and we have a receiver. For very small devices that consume very little energy, like a computer mouse, a keyboard, a hearing aid, a small phone, earphone or headphone, I think this is the most interesting first step. We don't even need to transmit electricity. We just use these devices and use our technology to recycle the energy that is here around us right now. We call it electromagnetic pollution, right? So this emits a lot of energy, this and all this. So you are actually surrounded by energy that is not being used.
Yeah. I mean, I think we take for granted some of the things that we have access to now. Like even what you were just saying here, not a lot of us are thinking of it as this pollution and things like that, right? So if we're already taking this for granted, is there kind of an equivalent infrastructure in place for what you're talking about that's around us, kind of, that we don't realize could be doing this? Or is it a whole new infrastructure? Like how do we think about the bigger picture of this?
Well, I think building an infrastructure is going to allow us to have more and more power, right? We already have a lot of energy here, so we could use this energy for small devices. But it's going to evolve like mobile internet did evolve. You will remember that in the beginning of mobile internet, there was GPRS, and it could barely send emails or receive messages, etc. Then it evolved to 3G, and then 4G, and then Qualcomm became the standard, right? And I think with this, the question is, there's going to be wireless energy in the next 10 years. I'm 100% sure about that. We're going to
10 years?
I think so.
Wow.
I think we're going to have wireless energy everywhere in 10 years. The question is not if, it's who's going to set the standard. Because there are a few companies doing this out there, and we're, in my opinion, the best one. But who's going to become the standard for wireless electricity? There are different protocols and different ways to transmit electricity over the air.
Yeah. Actually, that makes me wonder who's going, or what for hardware companies, let's say today, right? Does the business model shift for them if we have this ability to charge everywhere?
I think not the business model, but what I think is they will change the power source, right?
Okay.
So and they will use less battery. The battery can be much smaller. So there's going to be not fewer batteries, but a smaller battery in every device. If the battery is always charged, you don't need it to be so big. So the devices are going to be smaller, lighter, and going to use less metal for the batteries. So this is going to be good for the Earth.
I have one of those ultra big phones, and I feel like I'm ruining my hand by holding it all the time. So if it's lighter, this would be good for me.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
so
going
much
to be
for
lighter.
that.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
What about, Kay, you know how right now I can picture with iPhone, they change the ports, they change the cables, and I feel like they're making a lot of money off these cables that they keep changing on us. Are companies out there, so that's just one example, but there's a lot of companies that create different charging devices. Are they going to hate this, or are they going to be able to pivot?
I think they will have time to think about what to do.
Sure.
I mean, right? Because I don't think any big revolution in technology happens so suddenly. Even mobile internet, it happened, when the iPhone came, it happened, it looked suddenly when it looked, right? From hindsight, it looked sudden, but it's not. It happened, and then came the businesses, etc. So I think these companies that build this, they can build receivers using our technology, and these receivers can be plugged into, I don't know, standard devices that use energy nowadays, or they can build their new device that doesn't require a cable anymore and charge more for this device because, well, it doesn't require a cable. I would pay more for it, right?
Right, yeah, it's an exciting time.
Yep.
I can picture, too, how many of us have dropped our devices in a toilet at some point in time. This won't be a problem if it's all closed and there's no ports in it anymore. Maybe it's a little bit safer.
It's probably
Small victories along the way. Yeah. Okay, so where does Antiwire fit in, your company? What are you actually building at this point?
So we do have patents, protocols, and a first hardware. And what this first hardware does, it extracts energy from radio frequency waves, a certain frequency of radio frequency waves, radio waves like the ones we use to watch TV or listen to the radio, etc. And we use these devices nowadays to power IoT devices, to power, for example, smart measuring, industry measurement devices that are going to check whether a motor in the industry is working properly, et cetera, et cetera. So it's what we do. We sell these devices, and they never need battery recharging, ever. So they stay there for years, and it will last. We have the technology to bring this to end user devices. So we're right now shifting into providing this technology, or actually licensing this technology to hardware manufacturers. We don't intend to manufacture hardware. We're just gonna do like Qualcomm does. So the Qualcomm sells you a chip. It sells you a hardware, which is a chip, printed chip. But actually, what they are selling you is IP, right, intellectual property. So what we want to do is to sell the intellectual property and allow hardware manufacturers to use our technology to make their phones or their devices, their mouse, whatever you want, or hearing aid, etc. Never need charging again.
Sounds so good. Yeah. Sounds like also a big bet, though, in terms of like, right, anytime you're creating a whole new industry in a sense, right? What makes you so confident, like what we talked about at the beginning, saying 10 years, it's coming, it's here, it's a when, not an if. What are you seeing that we don't know that allows that confidence?
Well, it's a real problem. I believe in real problems, right? It's a real problem. Having to charge stuff is a real problem. And if we have a real problem and we have a solution, it becomes when the connection between them, right? So the real problem is going to be solved by this solution.
I mean, I think we have a startup competition coming up in a little bit on the stage today, and like a lot of those people, we always tell them, solve a real problem that exists, right? Solve something that frustrates people, so you found a pretty big one. All right, Andre, I want to do something a little fun with you. I want to do a speed round. Wish we had like a good noise for that as we bring it out. So short answers, 5, 7 words, something like this. Give us what comes to mind quickly, all right? Okay. Induction pads or RF through the air?
RF through the air.
All right. Will our phones be portless by 2030?
Hopefully, and maybe we don't even have a phone right in 2030. We're going to have ambient computing around us.
Whoa, that's it. We got a whole other topic there. All right. What's a bigger hurdle, the laws of physics or the laws of government?
The laws of market.
Market, okay.
Yeah.
Is something like low battery anxiety a real psychological condition?
I think it is. It used to be a real psychological condition to have no internet anxiety in the past. We don't have it right now. We forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. My Wi-Fi in my hotel room didn't work the other day, and I moved rooms. I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed the Wi-Fi. All right. But what's a better analogy for your technology? Is it the new Wi-Fi or the new Bluetooth?
The new Wi-Fi. You'll even come to a place and say, "Can I have the password for energy, please?"
Oh, so interesting. All right. Before this, people may not know you were, video game industry a little bit more. So what's one device from your video game industry days that needed this the most?
Controllers. You're playing a video game, controllers run out of battery.
Yeah, in the middle of a game. Oh my goodness, can't have that. All right. Give me one word. What is the feeling of a world without cables?
Relief.
Relief, it would probably be relief, you're right. Okay, is ambient power as safe as ambient light?
It is. We already have this ambient power here. We're just not using it.
That's it, you did the speed round. Well done, well done.
Thank you. Yay.
Yes. Whew. That's hard. You did a really good job. Really good.
Yeah.
No hesitation. That was good. He didn't know those, you guys. We didn't give him those a week in advance. That was good. Okay, so let's go a little further from that last one, because I think some people, their reaction to more things in the air that can pass through our bodies are a health concern.
I get that question.
Do we need to be talking about that?
Yeah, no, that's a very important question, and people ask that a lot. So is it going to be dangerous for me because there's going to be electricity? Will I be electrocuted?
No.
No.
It's going to zap me if I stand in the wrong spot?
No, it's not. Actually, it's the same energy that your TV receives or did receive in the recent past and transformed in images. It's the same energy, actually. It's the same energy your radio in your car received and it transformed it into music. It's that same energy. So we're just going to use that energy to generate relatively low power electricity. Is not going to be enough to power your refrigerator, your air conditioning. It's going to be enough to charge your phone little by little. It's going to be enough to charge small devices. So this is just using something that we already have, right? and to do something that we need. Sometimes we're going to need to turn a, let's say, energy router in our homes, like it's going to transmit there, but it's being tested. I mean, this energy at this frequency has been tested for the last 100 years already. So I'm very confident that's going to be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, that's good. There you have it. And there's a lot of research on this, and we can find articles online about all these different rays and how they work.
Usually it's dangerous above a certain frequency, very high frequency, like X-rays.
But there's rules against some of that, isn't there already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very high frequency is dangerous. We use low frequency.
Okay, perfect. There you have it. Okay, so going back to kind of like what we're seeing, what this is going to impact, I think a lot of us are still thinking, you know, the next phase of some of these things we've been talking about, AI, the next evolution, all of these things around us, is just like an incredible chatbot that can do anything for you. That's already, you know, I imagine in your world there's something different that you're thinking is going to be like the app of the future or the tool that makes everything.
Yeah, I think chatbot is lame. I think chatbot is like, it's like sending an email on a BlackBerry. It's cool to send an email anywhere, but would you like that right now? You probably have email on your iPhone, right? But it's old. It does so much more. So I think we're going to have so much more than chatbots. We're going to have AI that actually helps us navigate, or helps us around. Ambient computing is going to be something we don't even think about. So I like to think of products that we don't have to think about. And I think this is the future for AI in general and for computing in general.
Yep. All right, we're almost at the end here. I want to know, so we didn't talk a lot about your other business before, Quinto Andar, because this is such an interesting topic, but the one thing I will say is, you know, you brought that company all the way to a unicorn status, right?
Yeah.
This is very impressive. This is great. With this new bet that you're making, kind of a little more infrastructure, a little more, you know, different side of things, what do you wish that you'd known back then that you're kind of taking into this new ride?
That, I didn't have that question before either.
Testing you, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think I wish I knew that technology revolutions do not happen in consensus. So for something really revolutionary to happen, many people need to disagree. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so revolutionary. So here, some of you, I'm 100% sure, some of you disagree with the wireless energy thing that I said. So this is not possible. This is going to be dangerous. This is going to be something good. Good. It means that it's going to be revolutionary. If everybody agreed, it would mean that the thing was already here, already working, and it would already be a standard. It's not a standard yet just because some people didn't understand and we didn't make it a standard.
Yeah. There you have it. I mean, the next era of AI and connectivity is perhaps this wireless electricity era. We've had Andre Peña here, chairman of Antiwire, to tell us all about it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Margot. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much for attending.